But I think everybody wants to know the $2.2 billion, question about the new stadium, what that means and what that looks like for Nashville.
Sure. I think we've really been focused on three things from the beginning. First is finding a better path forward for the taxpayers of Nashville.
Okay.
Second is to look at this as a game-changing opportunity,
right.
In terms of what a facility could mean for the next generation of stadium here in Nashville. And then the third thing is returning valuable land to the city of Nashville.
Okay.
Because our lease right now encompasses all the parking lots around Nissan Stadium.
Right.
And that ultimately is something that can be put to better use. And so I think this has been something that's obviously been a really big topic of conversation in Nashville for the last year or so, but it's really been something that our organization has been focused on working with the Sports Authority for probably 4 or 5 years now.
Okay.
I guess it's longer than that, because when I first started in 2016 and I was going to Sports Authority meetings regularly, some of these long-standing Sports Authority members were asking a question about, how do we ultimately resolve what is an aging building that is requiring an increasing investment and a lease that puts a lot of that responsibility, most of that responsibility on the taxpayers of Nashville. And so we started this journey of finding something that is a better outcome.
Right.
And we're really proud of where it's landed, in that if this deal were to continue to proceed through City Council and Sports Authority over the next couple of months.
What would you say to those who may feel like it's not a better outcome? A lot of people have said the $1.8 billion renovation is overstated. It might be a little exaggerated. Can you speak to that a little bit, because of the people that may have that narrative, that may feel their way?
Yeah, happy to do it. I think 1.8 billion is a number that's been thrown out there by Turner. It's a group that we worked with to do some estimates. We're certainly not contractors. We're not qualified to do that work ourselves. The city hired their own consultant, VSG, and took a totally different methodology about trying to identify what that liability would look like from the city, and the number they came up with was also about 1.8 billion. Okay. Here's what I would tell to you. I think it's really hard to know what the exact number is.
Okay.
And that's what we have been saying from the very beginning.
Right.
The reality is it's a risk for the city and its taxpayers, and it's a really big one. Right. Whether it's 1.8 billion, whether it's 2.2 billion, whether it's $1 billion, it's a risk to the taxpayers of Nashville under this current lease and how it's structured. And what we're trying to do with this better outcome for the Nashville taxpayers is to take what are logical revenue streams, like in-stadium sales tax and sales tax from around the area.
The hospitality.
And hospitality industry has stepped up, and there's a 1% hotel tax that would go towards.
It's like 3 or 4 sources.
Exactly, and those sources ultimately are what the city would be putting towards revenue bonds that would support the path forward. And then anything going forward, there's just the risk position has been shifted from the taxpayers to the team. So who knows what stadiums will be like and what the NFL's expectations will be over the next 15, 20, 30 years. But once and for all, the taxpayers go from that risk position, and instead it's transferred over to the Titans.